All right, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, call I am La, Eloheinu, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Harakakodash. I want to give double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who we want to teach well, and hearty Shalom to the elect. All right, this is going to be another series on America being Babylon the Great, okay? Again, this is what I had asked ChatGTP maybe a week or so ago. All right, and it says here, the deep conversation. Well, I asked, please be specific in the comparison of America to Babylon the Great in the Bible. ChatGTP said that's a deep conversational topic, but I'll break it down clearly for you. Many people, especially prophetic or end-time discussions, try to draw parallels between America and Babylon the Great as described in Revelation 17 and 18. While the Bible does not name America, some interpreters see characteristics of modern America reflected in prophetic imagery. I'll give you specific comparisons based on scripture and Americans' traits. All right, I did the first two, global influence and wealth and luxury. We're going to do 3 and 4 today, okay? So military might. Babylon the Great, Jeremiah 50:23, which you're going to read, is called the hammer of the whole earth, symbolizing unmatched military strength. America, the world's dominant military power with bases across the globe and the world's most advanced weapons. All right, it says, and the most advanced weapons. So let's go down here. So in the same ranking next to it, it says, called the hammer of the whole earth. America is the strongest military force with global bases and unmatched weaponry. And it has here Jeremiah 50:23. So let's go there. This is Jeremiah chapter 50. All right, let me start up. All right, this is Jeremiah 50:23. It says, how is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations? And that's going to happen via the Lord, Salakia, Yahweh Shema Shai, destroying this place with thermonuclear fire, with political uprising within the country. You can see what's going on in Nepal, okay? You're going to have the poor and the rich fighting against each other, the middle class and the upper class, all right? You're going to have people, dying in concentration camps for taking in, not taking in CHIP, all right? There's going to be so much going on. There's going to be people that have financial issues now that's going to make it harder later for people to live, which is going to cause sedition, all right? People robbing and stealing each other to survive, all right? And then most importantly, the Lord's going to come back with those chariots and the anger of Yahweh Shai, and the anger of Yahweh is going to be upon the Lord Yahweh Shai to do whatever the Heavenly Father's will is to this place, and ultimately it's going to be destroyed with thermonuclear missiles, okay? Verse 24 says, I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon. Thou was not aware, thou art found and also caught, because thou strivest against the Lord. And how does America strive against the Lord? Look what it's doing to the tribes of the Lord, the Lord's people, all right? Jake shot down the street, getting deported from a land that's theirs, all right? Everything being taken from them, all right? All types of debauchery is happening to Jake, okay? All right, let me see. I'm going to go into this not this news article, but this right here. So that's another one. So this is, I asked Google, how great is America's military? It says America's military is considered the strongest and most powerful in the world, consistently ranked number 1 due to its massive defense budget, unmatched technology, superiority, cutting-edge equipment, global presence with bases in many countries, and elite special forces. While it has the largest budget and superior technology, some assessments suggest that the military may have difficulty fighting two major conflicts simultaneously without redeploying all available forces globally. All right, so let's just see here. Global key indicators of strength. Global power ranking. The U.S. military is consistently ranked number one. Budget. The U.S. has the world's largest military budget, spending significantly more than any other nation, accounting for a large portion of global defense spending. Technology. The U.S. military possesses cutting-edge technology and is a leader in developing next-generation weapons and advanced systems, particularly air power and intelligence. Global presence. With over 750 military bases in more than 80 countries, the U.S. maintains a significant global footprint, allowing for rapid deployment of forces. Personnel and equipment. The U.S. military has over 1.3 active personnel and leads the world in key categories like aircraft with advanced capabilities such as aerial refueling. All right, then it says here, factors for consideration. I'm recording, son. So it says factors for consideration, capacity for multiple conflicts. All right, then you can read that. Then you got historical investments. You can read that as well. And global dominance versus power. The concept of dominance is complex and may not fully be guaranteed by higher budgets and training alone. All right, so that just shows you some of the key aspects of how Babylon the Great is America in regards to it being the hammer of the whole earth. It's military strength, all right? It's number one in the world's spending budget as far as defenses. Has massive technology and cutting edge, and then it has 1.3 million active personnel, okay? All right. The next category I want to talk about within comparison America to Babylon the Great, it says here, immorality and corruption. It says Babylon the Great in Revelation 17:1 and 2 and 18 and 3, associated with fornication, corruption, leading nations astray with her immorality. It says America often criticized for exporting pornography, sexual immorality, greed, cultural values that erode traditional morals worldwide. And what I can think of, just personally, the feminism thing, that's something that I believe started here in America. Then on top of that, I remember some years ago, there were, protests in certain countries in the Middle East, so-called Middle East, where women, fought for the right to drive, And then when they got that right to drive, they was out there fucking shit up, But anyway, let's go to Revelation 17, 18, and 1. What did it say? It said Revelation 17, 1 and 2, and 18 and 3. So it says here, Revelation 17 and 1. It says here, and there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials and talked with me, saying, Come unto me, come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. All right. This is also in Jeremiah 50. I'm going to go back to, this is Jeremiah 50, and it might be 51. Yeah, this is Jeremiah 51 and 7. It says, Babylon have been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. If you're looking at, let's look at that word mad. The word is holah, Okay. It says here, definition E and F. It says to make a fool of, to act madly, act like a madman. All right. And let's see. Let's do this. All right, here we go. Mad. It says the adjective, disorder in intellect, demented, crazy, insane, out of one's mind. All right, extremely stupid or foolish. Let's see. Oh yeah, the first words, disordered in intellect, and that's what America has caused the world to do. All right, to be disordered in intellect. All right, and I'm gonna give you some examples where it says right here. Often criticized for exporting pornography, sexual immorality, which goes into homosexuality. All right, greed and cultural values that erode traditional morals worldwide. All right, so let's read what it says here. It says America exports pornography, consumer greed, cultural values that erode morals globally. All right, and let's go to this right here. So I asked how much pornography is exported from America. It says the United States exported $508 million of pornographic film in 2024, making it the third 382nd most exported product in the country, with China being the primary destination. Additionally, exports of photographic other than cinematography cameras were approximately 11.4 million in 2023. And then here goes the breakdown. Pornographic film valued at $508 million, and then the destinations: China, Germany, Mexico, Belgium, and Hong Kong. All right, and then you got the OnlyFans, things like and shit like that. That's also pornographic material. Okay. All right. I also asked here. I asked, what are some American cultures that have negative effects on the world? Okay. And then I read through some of that, but this is what really caught my eye. Evidence, harmful byproducts of American culture. It says, what are the byproducts of American culture? They are circumstances that result from regular economic, political, and social activities. Harmful byproducts are those that we normalize or accept as collateral damage. They create short and long-term emergency situations. They range in scale from personal to the societal to the historical. Some examples: climate change, institutionalized racism and white supremacy, environmental catastrophes from resource extraction, mass extinction, extreme political polarization, global war, genocide, refugee crisis, slavery, human trafficking, and incarceration, technology's divorce from natural world-based wisdom, extreme wealth hoarding and poverty, pandemics and other epidemics. This list is not in order of significance and is not comprehensive, yet it represents some of the most harmful results of dominant cultural norms. Their results threaten people across many borders and have never been treated as a cultural emergency. It says, how do we get here? It says here, American cultural norms emerged from the imperial philosophies of Western Europe, colonialism, and the Roman Empire. The United States is a settler colonial state that gained its economic wealth and political power from genocide, land theft, slavery, and war. And these acts still go on today, with America playing a backhand to some of them. All right, you can look at certain situations that's going on in the Middle East between a country that starts with an I, and another country within that border that starts with the G. Okay, all right. It says the country has a deep legacy of ongoing trauma to indigenous people and marginalized people. Boston was an epicenter of colonialization. The city bears sometimes some responsibility for perpetrating the cultural standards that have created cultural disasters in the past time, and it's past time to come in terms with this record of wrongdoings and change course. All right, and it just goes on to tell you that some of the other shit that America has done. Okay. Let's see, Revelation 18:3. This is Revelations 18:3. It says, "For all the nations have drunken of the wine of her wrath, of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies." All right, so all the things that are promoted in America throughout the world, other individual nations have clung onto that and enforced it on their people. Whether it was because some political gain or some financial economic gain, certain doctrines and philosophies was pushed on the people within those countries that America has its arm in. Okay, all right, but this just goes to show you